Welcome everyone to NASCAR Heat 3. So the purpose of this stream is simply to give you guys if you haven't already purchased the game or if you're trying to decide whether or not you want to purchase the game, the purpose of this stream is just to show you some of the stuff I go through at the very beginning at installation and just getting things set up. If you've played NASCAR Heat 2, then this main screen will look very familiar to you. And as you've got the normal options that we're used to seeing, the addition of split screen could be important for those of you particularly playing on console and want to play two-player there. But we've got quick race, we got championship, challenges, career mode, multiplayer, a news feed, and then we've got some options, and then we can set up our custom driver. So all of those are, for the most part, familiar to anyone who's played NASCAR Heat 2. Now, I have played the game just a little bit, and that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions during the stream, throw them out there. I'm going to try to get things configured here so that I can actually see the stream as well as the chat, but I make no promises about being able to see both in a manner that will actually help us out. So I'm trying to do that right now before we get into anything. So I'm not going to be doing, the setups you're going to see for the most part in this stream will be the defaults plus any tweaks I try to make along the way. But mostly I'm just interested in, let's play the game a little bit. Let's just see what it has to offer before I get really serious about setup tweaks and lap times and race wins and all that kind of stuff. So right now is just all about, let's just play the game a little bit. And I'm sure what most of you are interested in probably is the dirt racing, as am I. So let's go ahead and start out with a quick race. And we're going to go to the Xtreme Dirt Tour. And we're going to use the custom driver. This is the custom car that I painted so far, just messing around. That seemed to be a carryover from NASCAR Heat 2. I didn't really see any changes there, other than some new different types of designs there. But otherwise, it should be very familiar to those of you who played NASCAR Heat 2. All right, so we've got several options here. We can go, and remember, these are all dirt tracks. So they've converted Bristol to a dirt track. They've got the Charlotte dirt track, driven. I'm not sure about it. Eldora, of course, makes its return from NASCAR Heat 2. So good to see that. We've got Jefferson, which is the one road course, I believe, in this. And I believe that's also a fantasy road course. I'm not familiar with that, so it may or may not be a real track. We've got Vegas, and then, of course, Richmond, they've turned into a dirt track. We've got Taggart, Texas. Wow, we've got several on here. Okay, until we get back to Bristol, let's go ahead and start out on Bristol. Let's go to the quick race settings. And for now, we're going to start out on 105 difficulty. Later on, once I get some speeds located on some of these tracks, I'll move it up to some different difficulty. But for now, we'll stay there. Race length, yeah, we'll keep it. I may not even run any races. Might spend probably most of my time in practice. Tire wear, we could run 4 times normal, but I really don't like pitting that much. I wish I had the tire wear from that, but I don't want to pit all that much. We'll leave all the flags on if we decide to do a race. Quick qualify, we probably won't even qualify. Full damage, no stability help, always use custom setups, definitely, and manual transmission. That looks pretty good. Let's load up Bristol. So I was just in right before I started the stream and ran a few laps at Bristol. It's going to take some getting used to here in these cars. Right now I'm having some steering issues. The steering feels really weird to me. And I don't think it's setup related, but we'll see. Again, I'm going to show you the setup I'm running, but it is nothing special. It is very close to the default. Now we have something new with recommended setups this year. If you've seen any of the trailers that the developers released, then these will look familiar to you. They give you a total, I believe there's 9 here, from very stable, meaning it doesn't turn very well, all the way through a balanced setup and then a really loose setup, which should have the back end hanging out quite a bit. Now, I want to get in and try some of those. But for right now, I just wanted to play around and see what the options are. And they look, once again, very familiar if you played NASCAR Heat 2. Of course, we're looking at some very different types of numbers, particularly with the springs. They're really soft, and of course, it's a totally different type of car than your traditional NASCAR truck, Xfinity, or Cup. So for right now, these are the settings. These are almost default. I have changed a couple of things, but again, my purpose for today is just to get in here, have a little fun, and see what's going on. All right, let's see what these guys are. I don't particularly like the practice line being out here on the track. I wish I could turn that off, but I haven't seen an option for it just yet. So I'll keep looking for that. But for right now, the game's trying to help us out with where we should be running, but it's definitely very easy with the default setup to get the rear end hung out in the corner. You'll see just how hard you can drive this thing. Yeah, you definitely get back in. Like I said, the steering feels a little weird to me, particularly around the center. I'm not sure if it's a dead zone issue I'm dealing with, or just a sensitivity issue, but the steering feels very weird, particularly around the center. So, lots of settings to take a look at. Wow, before I get comfortable. A lot more speed to be had here. Sure. I am lifting going into the corner, which you can probably hear from the engine noise. But other than that, I lift just a little bit in the corner entry, and then it's just back full throttle the rest of the time. You know what it's going to be. On the lift, and then get back to the throttle, that kind of stuff. But I definitely see a lot more speed to be had here. Good bit of fun. Let's get in here and play around a little bit with the setup. So it looks like around 16 and a half. I think it was actually a little quicker than that before we went live. All right, let's see what we want to mess around with. Let's see if, now can we do anything with the nose weights? Okay, we're at minimum right now at 48%, and I definitely don't want to increase that. Wedge, what is the minimum here? So, oh, we can go down quite a bit of wedge. Okay. I'm not going to mess with shocks too much right now. Actually, let's just go, let's make this thing a little bit looser. See if we we can't get this rear end hung out a little bit more. We have 2 gears here, first and second. So we'll have to see. I know in NASCAR Heat 2, it really wasn't advantageous to hang the rear end out in the dirt or oil. I always found it was faster to drive it just like you would asphalt. You didn't have to lift it at all, so there was no reason to get crazy with it. Alright, so that's helping out some. Remember, I hadn't even touched the springs yet, so we're just using default springs. Off the gas, going into the corner, I get back into the gas, then I lift again because of that. Alright, I can go completely over again coming off the corner. Alright, let's see if we can get a little bit of can't get the room where I need it. Back up here. It doesn't like me being near the other picture, that's for sure. Alright, let's see if we can find it. Yeah, let's go back. Let's change that up. Go back down to the 9 inches on both sides. And let's go play around with a little bit more rear spring. This should definitely hit the tone. what's fastest? Is it faster to hang the rear end out? Or is it faster to drive it more like an asphalt car? Right now, I'm not really turning a whole lot to the right. Alright, let's adjust this volume a little bit, see what we've got. Alright, that should lower the gain volume actually quite a bit. We'll see, it might actually be too much. Alright, let's pick a different track, see what we got. Alright, we'll choose the dirt track in Charlotte, since that's, well, the next one in line. So this looks like a much smaller track, so we might be looking at a quarter-mile here. Alright, let's change the setup. Okay, so it is a different setup. Alright, let's just try the default right quick. Other than, I don't like that wheel lock. Let's go back to 10, which is what we used in NASCAR Heat 2. And I can't resist playing around with the camera a little bit because I know that's going to help. A little bit of steering offset. Let's see what we get. Okay. I definitely did not hang out the rear end like I was expecting. Yeah, this is definitely a quarter mile. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do with this track. Really tight on the throttle. You could see us carrying the left front tire quite badly. Let's get down there. Let's get a little closer to what we had at Bristol and see if that helps out any. All right, a few quick changes. Let's get back at it. Move a few things around on my screen here. Digging under throttle, that's for sure. Digging a little bit too much because it's done got tight. I feel like I'm just spinning in place. I'm at full throttle, but I'm not going anywhere. Ouch. Somebody gave me a little bump there. A little love tap. As you can tell, there's no spotter on dirt. I did test out briefly Michigan in a cup car, and we do have spotter there, so just in the dirt track we're on. And I can see absolutely nothing. I've got this one small mirror out the driver window, but that is it. So if they're beside me, I have no clue. All right, let's see what we want to change a little bit before This is just not going to work. Let's go up quite a bit on the left rear track bar. Yeah, racing this series in career mode is going to be very interesting. Staying off other cars is going to be interesting. Yeah, right there when I get back to the throttle, it's just spinning tires is all it's doing. Plenty of work doing this one. Alright, not too bad. Still feel like there's a lot more at this place, but right now I really want to see what other tracks we've got on here. Oh wow, this track actually looks smaller than where we just were. Then we get to Eldora, which is a little bit bigger. Let's go ahead and move over to Eldora and see how it feels in the dirt late model. Let's make a few tweaks to the setup just to get us back pretty much where we were at the other tracks for now. Wow, track bar is way up in the air. Get rid of that wheel lock. NASCAR Heat 2 in the trucks, I could run right around the bottom, wide open the entire time. So I'm hoping not to be able to do that here. There's no way to do it right now. I'm all over the place right now. Hey, I love that one groove. Ouch. Now, the AI are not shy about letting you know they're going by. All right, that's a little bit too out of control for my liking. Let's go down a little bit on this track bar. Craig, I do intend to do setups for these, because there's a lot of testing before I become anywhere near ready to do that. Right now it's just about trying to find some sort of handle on them and figure out how they want to be driven. Kind of hoping that they want to be driven with the right rear hanging out quite a bit more, ultimately, because that would be a lot more fun. I did not enjoy driving the trucks like asphalt on Eldora last year. That was not fun. It was fast, but it wasn't fun. Right there, very tight when I get back to the throttle. Ouch. They are not bashful. Hello. Yeah, these guys are very aggressive. I like it. I like it. All right, let's try out one of these recommended setups. Let's go with the balanced and see what that does for us. See how these things drive. Okay. Not too bad. The main thing with these setups is just drivability. If you're going to use one of these setups, then you're probably just looking for something that you can hop in real quick and be able to control the car. It's actually not bad at all. The downside is, if you wanted to use one of these as a baseline, I don't think you have that ability. What I mean by that is that if you decide that that you like a particular pre-made setup, and then you go under custom setups, it doesn't carry over those settings. It's very hard right now to run on the same track with these guys because I cannot see them. No rear view there. Probably wouldn't be very helpful anyway.
Keep it up. That's your best lap ever.
Yeah, I like this better than the default. Steering feels better in this. And you can see I'm keeping track with these guys, with the AI. They're not getting away from me. Still not where I need to be, but oh, look at that slide job. I like it. All right, let's try one of the other setups. But yeah, that one was good. So the balanced was good. Let's go extreme loose and see what happens. Let's see what their idea of loose is. It doesn't feel a whole lot different than the one I was just using. I think it might be a little bit better under throttle about rotating the car. Ouch. But otherwise, it feels very similar to the balanced setup. Not what I was expecting. I was really expecting this to have the back end hung out going into the corner, but it's not sliding because I'm getting completely out of the gas all at once, trying to shock the back end into turning around, and it just really doesn't want to. It looks like they're not going to give you a default setup to really hang out the back end. I'm definitely in the gas really hard. I can deal with the corner exit right now, but the entry is so bad. It does seem like the bottom is still the fastest way around.
Keep it up. That's your best lap ever.
They are wearing out my left rear. They have no problems getting into my left rear. I'm going to have to start returning the favor and have a little fun with this. Didn't get the traction when I got back to the throttle. But I can tell you, this is a lot of fun right now. We'll see how that continues as I get more used to the cars and adjusting setups and stuff. But right now, it's a lot of fun. The AI are very aggressive. I have no trouble bumping you out of the way. Alright, another couple of laps here and then we'll move on. We'll see what else the game has in store for us. Right now it looks like we're in the mid-15s, there or thereabouts. All right, not bad. Not bad. Let's see, but we'll save the road course a little bit. I want to see, what else do we have? These all look like several quarter miles on there. Let's head over to Richmond. See how it feels. Richmond should be a lot of fun. We should be carrying a lot of speed on that track. 3/4 mile track. Alright, let's see. Let's just go ahead and start out. We had such good luck with the loose setup there. We'll just go ahead and start out with that. It's kind of weird with Richmond being all dirt. Ooh, steering is really bad. I am all over the place on the straightaways. Hard to keep the thing going in the same direction. The steering wheel is very floaty. Weaving all over the place on the straightaway. Oh, somebody was next to me, I think. I hit something. I wasn't close enough to the wall to hit that, so I'm going to assume it was a car. Yeah, this is just loads of fun to drive right now. What I'm really hoping, just like I mentioned at Eldora, I'm really hoping that I don't discover some sort of setup that has me driving these like the asphalt cars and sort of ruins the experience for me. Yeah, I hit something again. I don't see anything in the mirror, so it must be to my outside. At least it feels like I'm getting hit. Let's see if we go down to custom. think it's this wheel lock that I'm not liking. It seems to like that 18 degrees, and I'm not a fan. It's definitely got plenty of track bar in it. That's for sure. All right, let's see what else we've got. Oops, wrong way. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, when we get to career mode, we start running these races, I got a feeling it's going to be just pure beating and banging. It's going to be like Martinsville in every race. Turn, turn, turn. Off the wall, please. Wow, that felt like the old Papyrus games there for a moment. You're on the wall and you can't get off. Okay, we got to make this thing turn better. I can't stand running it like that. All right, see what we got this time. Getting rid of that wheel lock at 18, that helped out tremendously on the steering. I feel a little bit more in control. There's still that wandering that I'm feeling at sort of a dead zone wandering feeling in the center of the wheel, but at least it's a lot more manageable right now. Ouch! Inside, inside. Could really use a spotter on these guys. Yeah, this is going to be another fun track to race in these cars. Bristol's going to be a blast, as is this. I don't know about the quarter miles though. See how the AI can maneuver their way around those. So on tracks like Bristol and here at Richmond, AI have plenty of room to move around, and I have plenty of room to move around in response to them. But on those little quarter-mile tracks, there ain't much room out there to be had. It's actually very hard to spin these cars out. Like right here, I mean, I'm trying to get the thing sideways, and there's a certain limit that it doesn't want to let you go beyond. So I'm going to have to loosen this car up quite a bit in order to get it to spin out and find that edge. We're definitely not near it right now. Hello, Guitar Whiz. How are you today? Yeah, setup needs a lot of work, as does my driving. I got a feeling that ultimately we're going to be a whole lot closer to wide open than I am right now. If I drive this thing more like an asphalt car for a few laps here. Oh, never mind. I'm just going to get ran out of the way. Let's try that again. If I drive a more orthodox line into the corner, it seems to like that more than getting the rear end hung out. if I can get a couple of good laps in here, driving this thing like an asphalt car, and see what kind of times I get. And then try to really hang it out. Yeah, I just keep getting faster the more I drive this thing like an asphalt car. Which is very disappointing. Hopefully that will change as I work more on these settings. All right, here in just a moment, I actually want to get onto the other NASCAR tracks. So we've run a little bit of dirt here, run several of the tracks. And let's get into a different series and see what kind of fun we can have. All right, let's go straight to the Cup Series here. There's one of the new designs. I don't remember this one being in NASCAR Heat 2. At least I don't remember using it. So there's one of the new designs I'm testing out. Let's go to, where's a good place for me to test? Let's go to Chicagoland. The reason being, Chicagoland was very easy to run wide open in NASCAR Heat 2, and I want to see if the same thing holds true here in 3. I would really enjoy it if it did not. That would be great. I would really like for it to drive a lot more realistic, where we have to use the throttle and a lot more of that type of thing. All right, I'm going to throw a setup out there that I know would work pretty good NASCAR Heat 2. We'll see how it does. Let's go 26 and 32. I also hope that maximum camber doesn't work in this game like it did in NASCAR Heat 2. Interesting, Craig. That's interesting. So as the night wears on, and these cars do tend to drive more like asphalt cars. Okay. All right. But at the beginning, they drive more sideways. All right. Interesting. I like that. All right. Let's start off with something like this. So the wheel lock that it's defaulting to on the asphalt is only at 10, whereas we were seeing 18 earlier. All right, let's just say that. That should get us close enough for me to get a feel for it anyway. And then we can adjust from there. Ooh, that is really twitchy. Where's my engine? I have no engine sound, hardly. I can hear it, but just barely. Yikes.
Outside.
That is not good at all.
Got one down low now. Got one down low. He's inside.
Ooh, yeah, this steering is all over the place. All right, let's just try to hang on for a few laps. Ooh, it's tight. Yeah, you can probably tell it's very jerky. The steering is, again, around the center is just not good. This is not fun at all. We'll have to smooth that out quite a bit. Because it's as if I'm unable to make any sort of small corrections on the wheel. Yeah, this is really tight. All right, let's loosen this thing up. Let's see what we get. And let's see. the wheel lock as is for now.
You're clear, pit road.
That engine sound really worries me because we're in a cup car and this thing, I can't even hardly hear it. Can you guys hear that? Because I can literally barely hear that, and I've got the engine, or there is no engine sound directly, but I've got the sounds turned up all the way except for the music, which I turned off, but everything else is up at maximum. Okay, so you guys can't hear the engine. Well, it's not just you. I can't hear it either, so it's making it very hard to tell when to switch gears getting up to speed because I can't really hear anything. And of course, if that engine is turning anywhere near 9,000 RPM, which it is right now, it should be screaming at me. All right, so here we go. Now we're a little bit better off. Let's see if we can go wide open at full speed. Oh yeah. Yep, I'm easily wide open here. A little work to do yet on the setup, but I'm easily wide open. I also really want to get rid of that driving line. Yeah, see, this is really easy for me to, I'm not fighting the wheel at all to hang this wide open all the way through the corner. Force feedback right now feels about the same as NASCAR Heat 2. It felt a little funny in the dirt car. I was actually getting more feel out of the car when I was turning right than when I was turning left. But so far here on the asphalt, it feels about the same. It's not overpowering. I've got the force feedback strength up to maximum. It's definitely not overpowering. I really wish it was a little bit stronger, actually. All right, yeah, we're easily wide open. This is not even a problem. All right, if you guys have a certain track or car combination that you want me to go to, just let me know. Right now, I'm just sort of testing things out. That's the whole purpose of this, you know, day one with the game. So, and Craig, I would imagine that would be true on the dirt, changing a whole lot more than asphalt. I've got to imagine that's one of the things that makes it fun. Because one of the things that we're really missing in this game is tire wear. We need it badly. Badly, badly. I mean, these guys are going at a typical super speedway, or not super speedway, but a typical 1.5 mile type of track. They're losing 2 to 3 seconds a lap with tire wear, and we're not losing anything in NASCAR Heat 2. And again, we'll see how that runs in NASCAR Heat 3. But let's see, we got Martinsville and Texas. All right, I saw Martinsville first. We'll head over there. And then we will go to Texas. Let's make sure particularly the difficulty, full damage. Okay, yeah, everything looks good. Let's run a few laps around Martinsville. I don't remember my Martinsville setup for the Cup car in NASCAR Heat 2, so I'm just going to guess my way through this. But first, let's actually try these. Let's go balance setup first. Let's see what we get with that. See how it drives.
Clear the pit. Hammer down. Come on, go.
Ooh, engine sound. Wow. Okay, that's not going to be good. We may have to use third gear in the corner. That's not good. Oh, turn, turn, turn. No engine sound again. Turn, 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 turn. Alright, so the balance setup is about what I would expect, really. Can't really get aggressive driving the car into the corner, but it's very stable. But long term, I would just have to get off the gas and onto the brakes earlier going into the corner, wait a little bit before getting back to the gas, that kind of stuff. But definitely manageable. As you can see, I'm still stuck to driving it in like I'm used to, so let's go ahead and see how one of these other setups fares for us. Let's go full loose.
You're clear of the road.
Yeah, even when I'm hitting the rev limiter here, I'm getting very, very little, very faint engine sound. Oh yeah, rotates now.
Car high, careful now. Easy. Clear all around.
Yeah, that exit is very touchy with this setup. I like to set up the car here to where I can get back to the throttle very aggressively coming off the corner, and I'm not going to be able to do that with this setup. I'm going to have to modulate it a little bit more. All right, that was a little better. Yeah, it's really...
Got one outside now.
What you're seeing happen to me off the corner is really push loose. I'm trying so hard to get the car to turn while maintaining some sort of speed and trying to keep up with these guys because I've got all the wheel in it can handle.
Outside,
But again,
outside.
not too bad though. It's you know, as long as I don't get too aggressive with it, it's not bad. It's pretty stable. Even though this is as far to the loose end of the scale as we can get, it's still very stable. So I like that. I wouldn't expect it to be perfect.
Good job.
I would expect all of these setups to be extremely stable. Yeah, not bad. No, Guitar Whiz, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it will let you load that setup. That would be a great addition. In fact, that was the first thing when I loaded up the game and tested it out. That was the first thing I thought of is let's go load up a few of these setups and then try to customize them. But it doesn't seem like it's going to allow you to do that. Because right here, we've got the loose setup loaded. And then I'm going to come down to custom race setup. And let's just you guys take a quick glance at the screen. Let's see, springs 900, 740, and then we got 360 and 460. Let's go, in fact, let's just go full stable here. All right, load that up. You can see at the bottom of the screen, it says setup 1 stable, so we've got that loaded. And I think, from looking at the nose weight, the wedge, and the springs, I think this is identical to what we just had. So I think they missed out on that. I think they missed out on a great opportunity to help people with setups. Because if you try out, I mean, just think about it. If you have players that are trying this out, again, I'm talking more about people who don't like to tweak setups very much. If you have somebody who picks one of these setups and really likes it, but just wants to make a few tweaks here and there, I mean, that would be awesome if you could load that and then tweak on it from there. That would be great. All right, let's run a few laps with a custom setup. I'm going to throw, again, I don't remember my setup from NASCAR Heat 2, so I'm just going to wing it here a little bit. We'll pick something that should be fairly stable. It shouldn't leave us too terribly much off the pace. Let's see, I want to say I don't have that much. 3 and 4 seems pretty good. Stick with 32 pounds on the pressures. Let's just go up to 5 on the camber. A little less camber helps out under heavy braking. Ooh, brake bias all the way up to 80. Yikes. I don't think I want it quite that high, do I? All right, grill tape is another thing. I got to see if it makes any difference whatsoever in this game. I'll have to test that out. It's pretty funny. I had several people tell me, oh yeah, the grill tape makes a difference in here. And I tested it 100 different times running races and never got anything. In fact, most of the time I was trying to remember, okay, which one am I testing now? Because I can't tell any difference in the car. I couldn't remember if I was testing no tape or like 60% tape or something. Really use some engine sounds right now. This is one of those tracks that you can definitely tell how the car is handling from the sound of the engine, and we are tight. Entry's much better. Yeah, exit's much better. I just got to work some more, and I'll go back and I'll look and see what I used in NASCAR Heat 2, but this is feeling pretty good. Feels about the same as NASCAR Heat 2 so far to me. But again, these are just initial impressions. I don't see that there's a whole lot, if anything, that has changed. This engine, Scott, is so quiet right now that this seems like just something's wrong. It's like this isn't even intended, because I can literally barely hear it. So I'm sure you guys probably can't hear anything, and if you do hear anything, it's probably just a low murmur, really. But yeah, this is ridiculous.
You just posted your best lap ever. That's awesome.
All right, we'll run another couple of laps here, and then I'm going to actually head back out and go to the options, and we're going to take another look at the sound and just make sure. I intended to have everything at max volume, so we'll see if I did. And then we'll also take a quick look at the controller settings, and I'll show you guys how I have those set up right now. Again, still tons and tons of testing to do, but yes, you can hear the crowd for sure. I hear the crowd a lot louder than I do the engine, which is sad to say. All right, yeah, that's just really getting on my nerves, not being able to hear anything. Okay, let's get out of there. You guys don't let me forget to go to Texas next. All right, let's back all the way back out to the main menu. Let's go under options, sound. All right, music volume, I turned that completely off. The effects all the way up. Spotter, I turned him down a little bit, but because before I started streaming, I did a quick run at Michigan, ran a few laps there, and he was really loud in my ear. So I turned that down a little bit. He was actually overpowering everything. So Victory Anthem, I have no desire for that. All right, but everything is maxed out other than the spotter. Let's go take a quick look at the controls. So we're using controller and then wheel 900 degrees. So it by default, it recognized my Logitech G920. So that's always step number one. For those of you who go back a couple of years to NASCAR Heat Evolution, you know the kind of trouble we had trying to get wheels to work in there, even after they released a few different patches. All right, so 900 degrees, which is the degrees of rotation for this wheel. And no dead zone. Definitely don't want a dead zone here. The range and sensitivity are right in the center. The brake I'm running at all the way to the left, which would mean that it should have a standard amount of response from when I first touch the brake all the way through full brake. And if I go into test sensitivity, and that's pretty much what I see. I'm not terribly pleased with the pedals for the G920. but this seems to be about as good as I was getting in NASCAR Heat 2. Now the throttle sensitivity I've moved up a little bit, and the reason I did that is I have a hard time with getting to full throttle with these pedals sometimes. Sometimes the gas pedal, even when I have it fully depressed, just really doesn't work all that well at getting me. It'll want to stop like right in here somewhere rather than going to full throttle. So that's why I've messed around with the sensitivity there. Shift type is the paddle shifter, which is what is included on the wheel. And we are not using the clutch to switch gears. All right, so let's go ahead and accept that. Configure controls I haven't done anything with. You can see there's a way to have the keyboard on here as well. You can see accept would be keyboard enter, then you got escape for cancel, that sort of thing. But I've gotten so used to using the wheel exclusively in this game. All right, let's see. Other settings. This is where I definitely want the steering dead zone all the way down, and no reason to run really any dead zone there. If anything, I would move the brake up just a touch, just so that I can, on places like Martinsville or Phoenix, you know, somewhere like that where I'm going to use a lot of brake, then sometimes I like to just lay my foot against the pedal, and so giving it a little bit of a dead zone will keep it from engaging any earlier than I want it to. All right, but other than that, nothing really to change there. Okay, let's head to Texas, but I'm actually going to choose a different car. So we know we have no engine sound to speak of in the Cup car. Let's see what Xfinity's got for us. All right, I want to use our custom, although it is tempting to use Morgan Shepherd. That, you got to love Morgan Shepherd. We need to keep that guy around as long as we possibly can. All right, come on, let me get back to the custom. Oh, Spencer Gallagher didn't even have a picture taken for this. This must have been after he was suspended that they were taking all the photos. There we go, custom. And let's run, actually let's go backwards here. Texas, quick race settings should be the same. Yeah, looks good. Let's load it up. And let's hope for some more engine noise that is better than the crowd noise. I'm going to be very disappointed if that's not the case. Ooh, there's some crowd noise for you. I'm not really noticing any difference in the graphics. They might be different, but I'm really not noticing a whole lot here. I mean, to me, if some of the differences on, like at the top of the screen, the lineup is different than what we saw in 2. But other than that, I could almost believe that I'm still driving in NASCAR Heat 2. Okay, so we're going to try out one of their default setups.
You're clear, pit road.
So I have still not seen anywhere. Pull out in front of this guy coming.
Got one down low now.
Like
Got one down low. Inside.
Oh, there's that steering issue again. It might just be in the setup.
Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line.
Yeah, I'm all over the place trying to control this thing on the straightaway.
Inside.
Ooh, really loose there on entry. Still not hearing very much engine noise. Very, very quiet. A sharp contrast to what we had in the dirt car. The dirt late model, we could definitely hear the engine. In fact, I had to turn down the gain volume so that you could hear me at all over the engine. That is certainly not the case here. All right, so I'm hoping that they can release a fix for that. All right, so I'm able to run this wide open. All right, let's go change that setup around a little bit. So that was as loose as it gets, and it was a little bit free on entry, but certainly not anything I'm going to want to use long term. Not going to mess with the shocks right now. Just leave those at standard numbers. I love that I can hear my crew members right outside the driver window. I can hear them talking. I have no idea what they're saying, but they have that in there, so it'd be nice if they would speak up a little bit so I can hear them. Motorcycle Tech, I am on PC. Yeah, the sound right now is, I mean, there are some things about a game that you can overlook if you don't like them, but you can deal with it. But this sound, that's not going to work long term. They're going to have to do something about this, because I have got to be able to hear something. All right, that's good enough for right now. It won't be perfect, but that'll get us started out here.
All right, let's get back in there. Let's go. Come on.
So right now, the two things I would say that need to be adjusted is, number one, the engine. And then number two is I would like a way to get rid of that driving line. It's only during practice that I see it. It's not during the race as well, but still, I would like a way to get rid of that.
Still there.
But that is certainly nowhere near as important as the engine
you're
sound.
clear.
Yeah, this is feeling very reminiscent of NASCAR Heat 2, for sure. Let's see what kind of engine temperature we're running here. All right, so we're right at 200. Let's see if that stays the same or continues to increase. Yeah, I'm easily wide open right here, easily. So we're right at 200 on the engine temperature, or oil temperature.
Still there. All right, now you're clear.
The spotter is a lot louder than the engine right now. Looks like they've changed under the car status at the top left of the screen. Looks like they've changed, because I'm pretty sure, didn't that used to say 0% if there was no damage? Now it's showing 100%, which makes a little bit more sense, I guess. That a radiator is still 100%, engine's still 100%, and so on. But I'm pretty sure that used to say 0 in NASCAR Heat 2. But I could be wrong, because I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking at it. Pete, the force feedback it feels about the same as NASCAR Heat 2 to me. It's going to take a little getting used to on the dirt cars to see, how I like that. But the asphalt cars so far are feeling basically the same. The force feedback, I would like for it to be stronger. I'm running full strength in game, as well as in the profiler, the Logitech profiler. I'm running full strength all the way around, and it's definitely not overpowering me. I would like very much for it to be stronger.
Clear all around.
But again, so far, It's about the same as what I was getting in NASCAR Heat 2, which is pretty much what I expected. I didn't expect them to really overhaul the handling model or any of the physics or anything like that. I figured they've got them about where they want it.
Clear all around. Watch that car in front of you. He's slowing down.
Which isn't good for me because I would like things to be a lot more realistic, but I also understand where they're coming from. Another big thing for me will be to see how the difficulty is. I mean, you can see right now that I'm clearly a lot faster than these guys.
Bottom lane's clear. Use it if you need it.
Right now in the practice session, and this is another one of those tracks like Chicago that we were at earlier, where in the race, it's pretty easy for me to come all the way from the back to the front and then run away with it after I get to the front. And right now, this isn't doing a whole lot to change my idea. But keep in mind, I'm just on level 105 right now, which is not quite the max AI. So hopefully once I go up to, I believe, what do they call it? Auto hard, I think is what it is. Once I get up to that, hopefully that'll make them a good bit tougher. And we won't be able to just drive by those guys. Really, Motorcycle Tech? So the Thrustmaster has good force feedback for the game. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, this G920 wheel is not known to have stellar force feedback, but it's good to know that other wheels might have some better response with the force feedback than what I'm getting. That's very good to know. If I had it to do over again, I don't think I would purchase this wheel. The wheel itself, I mean, it's okay. It gets a passing grade, but it definitely doesn't do as well as what I'm used to, which for me was the Driving Force GT. Still Logitech, but it felt a lot better. And then I had some custom pedals. I forget the name of them off the top of my head, but I had them forever. In fact, they were so old that I had to have adapters because they were not USB. That's how old those things were. I had to have adapters to be able to plug them in anymore. But they were great.
That was your best lap ever.
Really hated to get rid of those. All right, anybody got any suggestions for a track next? I think what I'm going to do here is once we finish up this lap, I'm going to head out and we're going to get into the trucks because I want to see if the engine sound is the same there. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the Texas banking is definitely flatter since they reconfigured it. I actually wish they would have flattened it some more to change things up. All right, let's go ahead and hop out of this track. Yeah, that leaning to the left thing is no joke, because I am definitely doing that in my chair. This office chair I'm sitting in has a permanent lean to the left. In fact, oops, let's go back and let's do trucks. These paint schemes I'm noticing in the selection screen have a weird sort of a finish to them, almost like a weird coating that they have over the paint job. Just looks weird to me. It doesn't look clear. Looks like some sort of film over it or something. Oh, Jamie Mosley was not there for picture day. Let's see, Brett Moffitt, okay, in the 16 car. Derek Kraus, I don't remember him. NASCAR Next, all right, that makes sense. Parker Kligerman, gotta love Parker. Wheelman. Somebody give that man a ride. Because every time he gets in a car now, he does great. All right, Todd Gilliland. Okay, can we please get back to the beginning? By the way, Haley Deegan, you're going to see a lot of her because she is your mentor whenever you start the career mode for the Dirt Series. So you're going to see more of her. And so what does her truck look like? She's in the 19 truck. Has she made any starts in the truck series yet? I don't remember seeing her in a race, but I could be wrong. Okay, let's see. Where do we want to go in the truck? Now, we haven't done a plate track yet. Sure, why not? Let's just go Daytona. We've been spending all our time on short tracks for the most part until the last couple. So once again, quick race settings. Let's see. Yeah, let's just go auto hard on that. And let's see how that works out. The only thing I can't remember is because I haven't set a speed rating at any of these places, I don't know how fast. I don't know if it's going to trigger them to go faster than the 105 or not. We'll find out here pretty quick, though. Pete, you might be right about that, about there being a wrap and not a paint scheme. That could very well be. As far as the shifter, I do not have a shifter other than the paddle shifters that come with the wheel. So I can't help you out on whether or not an H pattern works. All right, let's go ahead and go full loose on the setup. Let's head out here.
Clear the pit. Hammer down. Come on,
and
go.
once again, we have very little engine sound. Yeah, if you can't hear the engine, it makes for a very quiet experience, for sure. Yeah, in fact, right now, one of the things that would keep me from using these custom setups is I've still got that wandering in the wheel. So it would really be nice if they would let us start with these setups and then customize them from there. All right, so that handles about like I would expect. Now let's go ahead and try to do a race here right quick. Just a real quick one. We probably won't even run all of the laps. Let's hear what the other engine sounds from the other cars are like. All right, so we got pole winner. This is a new feature. We had, okay, pole winner, nobody went to the back. Maybe that's just a career mode thing.
Starter has the green flag. All right, be ready. Hammer down.
I think it also, before the race starts, tells you if there are any hot or cold drivers. But again, that might just be a career mode thing. All right, I'm going to try to keep this thing off of other trucks.
Careful now, still there.
Particularly on the straightaways. Oh, look out. What kind of effect is that on my windshield? I'm seeing a kaleidoscope. All right, so we had no problem keeping up with them on the start, which for those of you familiar with NASCAR Heat 2 will remember that could be an issue. If you didn't get off to a good start, these guys could actually run off and leave you. That was certainly not the issue here.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
Ooh, easy now. We'll make somebody mad on lap 1.
Still there.
Yeah, there's that kaleidoscope effect on my windshield.
Hold your line. Stay up high.
I am not full throttle for most of the lap. I am easing back to about 75, 80%.
Stay high.
So I definitely have plenty of speed to keep up with these guys. Of course, in real life, they don't spend their entire time full throttle either. They're either dragging the brake or modulating the throttle as well. All right, do we have somebody on our inside? I don't think so.
Still there.
Trying to keep it really easy here and not take any chances.
Careful. Still there.
Yeah, we'll worry about winning races later on, but for right now, we're just trying to get in here and see how things work. See if they're the same as NASCAR Heat 2, or if they've made a bunch of changes.
Clear all around.
I'm trying to read the comments at the same time, which is not helping my driving out. I am not wearing a headset, not right now. Now, the microphone is not in the best location right now. It's off to the side of me. So it's not the greatest location, but...
Stay high, stay high. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
And it's certainly not where it is whenever I do my recordings. But I was in a bit of a hurry to get out on the track earlier and start streaming, so the excitement got the best of me, so I need to make a few adjustments on that. As far as the gauges,
Hold your line. Stay up high. Stay high. Hang tight there, driver.
I think all of them work. It's hard to tell right now because, for the most part, they're all straight up and down. And they're not really moving any.
Low lane clear here.
But I know at least a few of them do. If it's like NASCAR Heat 2, then the oil gauge, which is just to the left on top, next to the tack, that one works. The fuel, I don't know that fuel pressure works in these. I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to it. But the oil, at least it did work in NASCAR Heat 2. Alright, I am not going to take it 3 wide by this guy. I'm going to lift and just follow him for a minute.
Still there.
I was really hoping that they would improve the spotter. The spotter doesn't help you out a whole lot, unfortunately. Because he doesn't talk to me nearly as much as I need him to. Alright, so I'd say we're doing pretty good. Remember, we're using the default loosest setup of the 9 choices we have. We're using to the far right loose, and we're able to keep up just fine. And other than my weird steering issue that I'm having, it feels perfectly fine.
Careful, still there.
So that's very good news.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Careful,
It's
still
pretty
there.
exciting for me because, particularly if we run into, during the career mode, some issues with AI difficulty,
Clear all around.
like we did in NASCAR Heat 2, then it's nice to know that I could just simply turn on one of these setups and probably have a nice stable setup that wouldn't be as fast as a custom setup,
Stay low.
but should still give us, what we need for career mode.
All right, now you're clear. White flag. Come on, dig, driver.
But I'm still holding out hope that that the AI difficulty has been ramped up, for sure.
Careful, still there.
We are just way too fast for these guys right now.
Stay high.
This
stay
is
high.
on
Careful, still
auto
there.
hard, so that's... See the sound, like I barely clipped him in the
Clear
right
all
rear,
around.
and I could hear that sound much louder than the engine. So that just makes me think something is very weird with the engine sounds, except in the dirt car. Dirt cars seem to be fine, if not a little bit on the loud side. All right, so not a bad race. We kept out of trouble
Nice
and
work for a top 20.
had plenty of speed for these guys. We'll take it. Yeah, the AI were definitely spreading out way too much. For every other type of track, I love it when they get spread out because that's really the only way you can race with them. You get them all bunched up, and these guys, they don't know what they're doing, so it gets really difficult. But if you can get them 1, 2, maybe 3 at a time, then you can generally have some pretty good races with them. Let's go ahead and finish that event. Let's see where we want to go next. Okay, I see Michigan. We can definitely do that. Speed rating 95. That's actually scary. That's scary. If the maximum seems to still be 105, I was only 95, and I had plenty of speed for max difficulty. Okay, that's not good. Just to be safe, let's go back to 105 difficulty for right now. That way I'll at least know what difficulty they're running at, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's see. Michigan. I actually have run a couple of laps at Michigan. And Lucas, unfortunately, I'm going to have some bad news for you on the speeds at Michigan, because unless it is different once I continue working with the setups, unless that's the case, it's pretty much like NASCAR Heat 2, where you can just keep it wide open the entire way around the track and you will blow them away. We'll see if that continues to be the case. All right, let's go ahead and use the full loose. Let's use a standard setup right now. And the AI seemed to be doing the same thing. Again, I only ran a few laps, but it seemed to be very much the same as before. I want to see if the AI, particularly here in the trucks, I want to see if they hug that bottom all the way down the straightaway as well. Okay, at least the driving line is taking us out near the wall. Okay, that's a good sign. A little bit of bob and weave in that driving line as well. Okay, so I'm easily wide open with one of their default setups. And again, as with the other tracks, it seems to be very stable. I'm not fighting the car at all, other than it's a little on the tight side, but as far as fighting to control the car, I'm definitely not having to do that. Yeah, it definitely needs some help turning, but I'm easily wide open. All right, here in just a moment, we'll run a couple laps here, and then I will hop out, get in the Cup car, and we'll head back to Michigan, and we'll see how it goes. So far, I am, as far as the setups go, I am very happy with their default setups. Let's head back out and hop in the Cup car. And back to Michigan. Yeah, Scott, I agree. Not a whole lot of difference with NASCAR Heat 2 as far as the handling, the graphics, any of that. Not to me, anyway. Okay, setup. Let's go ahead and use one of their defaults. So I'll have to get more into
Clear the pit. Hammer down. Come on, go.
the dirt cars, the dirt late model. But yeah, so far it looks like more of the same from NASCAR Heat 2 as far as the handling of the top 3 series anyway. All right, let's see if we can hold it wide open around this track in the Cup car with one of their default setups. Ooh, look out. How about that? Okay, let's go back to the pits. Let's try that again. We'll keep the same setup. Yeah, that got loose in a hurry.
Clear the pit. Hammer down. Come on, go.
On entry. I'll also try out, because I have a sort of a basic custom setup that I threw in a little earlier. Yeah, this thing is really loose. I need it to rotate, but not quite that much. Good news is we can dirt track it pretty easy. Okay, let's head back to the pits and put in a different setup. Let's see. Yeah, that should work out a little bit better.
You're clear of pit road.
Alright, for this particular stream, now that I take a look at the time, I'll probably be on for a few more minutes and then I will cut it off for now. Depending on how things go, I might be back on a little bit later on. I'll definitely be playing the game. It's just whether or not I'm able to stream. Yes, Lucas, I am using a Logitech G920 and I am on PC. I'm not on a console, I'm on PC. Alright, yeah, this is not the same because I don't remember the exact setup from NASCAR Heat 2 in the Cup cars at Michigan, but this feels very similar. I'm easily wide open, and yeah, it feels very similar, if not identical.
Hold your line, stay up high. Stay
to what we had there.
Careful now, still there. Still there. Inside, inside. Clear all around.
Yeah, I think what they've done is, I'm pretty sure they looked at some basic speeds from a track and then said, okay, let's make the speeds get close to that. What they've completely forgotten is that the handling should match up with how you get to those speeds, and that's just, it's nowhere close on this. I mean, I'm running wide open easily. I could just simply put a brick over the gas pedal and just leave it, and no worries about having to lift at all. So yeah, and that would certainly not be possible in real life. You'd be working hard in there in real life. Oh yeah, we're not quite as fast on the speeds. I mean, they're relatively close, but yeah, they do get up over 210 sometimes. But of course, some of that's going to be your draft and versus qualifying setups, and there's some other factors in there. But the speeds are pretty good in the game. It's just how you achieve those speeds that is way off. But again, this isn't iRacing. They're not trying for ultimate realism, so I give them a lot of slack and just try to have as much fun with it as I possibly can and stick mostly to the tracks. When I'm not doing career mode, I generally stick to the tracks that give me the best experience. All right, we got time, I think, to do one more quick track. And let's see. Let's go back to the dirt cars. That's definitely something different. So earlier we went to, I started off the stream at Bristol, and then we went to Charlotte, and then to Eldora, and then finally a few laps at Richmond, if I remember correctly. All right, let's do Drebin. Let's see what that one's all about. It actually looks like it's smaller than the others. All right, let's load up a setup. I'm going to go ahead. We've had pretty good luck with the loose setups. They've been pretty nice. Ooh, looks like we got some high banks here. Wow. Ooh, we're all over. Yeah, there's some high banks here. Feels like I'm at a miniature Bristol right now. Oh my goodness, why is nobody going fast? Why are they going so slow? The AI are going extremely slow. And remember, we're on 105 difficulty. Holy cow, yeah, these guys are going way slow. On a positive note though, this is a ton of fun to drive. The setup is very stable. Boom! Alright, AI seem to be pretty stable. You can spin them out, but it looks like it's pretty hard to do so. Let's see if we can catch up with one and hit them in the corners. See if that makes any difference. Tight. All right, am I imagining things, or have they sped up some? Because I don't see anybody going as slow as what they were just a few laps ago. So that's a very good sign. I don't know what happened, but I'm glad it's changed. Ooh. Yeah, I'm gonna need some setup work before I'm gonna be able to really catch these guys. We are just way too tight. Yeah, hanging the back end out is just not fast. Every time I do that, I'm basically tires are spinning in one place, so it does look like more of the asphalt style is going to be the fastest, which it sounds like might not be too far off from our conversation earlier. Yeah, this is tons of fun. And I would imagine as I continue to work on the setups and get more comfortable with these cars, it's only going to get more and more fun. I'm estimating that we're going to have some real interesting racing when we get to the career mode where we're doing these dirt cars. Lots of beating.
Best lap ever.
Ooh, look out. Let's see if I can hit one of these guys in the corner. Ouch. See how easy they are to spin out. Oh, he spun out all on his own. Don't see that much. Ouch. Kaboom. That guy took flight. Can you tell they have the front ends of these cars shaped like scoops? And by the way, that was at full damage. And let's just get out right here. I don't see any damage on the front end of that car. I don't see any damage anywhere on the car. Well, that's not what I was hoping to see. All right, let's hop out. All right, interesting. Since I saw somebody mention Jefferson, let's hop over to Jefferson, the road course. That's right, I meant to do that a little bit earlier and completely forgot about it. So let's see what we get at this track. This ought to be interesting. All right, same thing here. Let's go. Yeah, let's go loose. And I do not know the track, so here let's let the fun begin. Ooh, I can see nothing to the right. Oh, look out. By the way, I have just realized, oh, we're back to the steering issues. I have just realized that there are vertical bars on my windshield. I was looking right through them the whole time and never really paid any attention to them. So I guess it's kind of like with new Formula One body style, where they have that center post right in front of the driver's face. I guess after a while you just look around it and you don't even see it anymore. Oh yeah, this track right here is going to be a load of fun. Once I learn the track, and this is going to be so much fun. Oh, look out. Looks like I need to go a little bit slower through there. So once again, if you're not familiar with these cars, they have two gears. There's a first and a second. So you don't have the standard 4 gears that you would traditionally see in the NASCAR cars. Oh, that's going to be a fun corner right there. You'll be able to slide it right through that corner. It'll be very aggressive. A little bit of asphalt in right there. Or bottomed out a little bit right there. Yeah, I'm going to be able to get a lot more aggressive with this car on this track. I mean, this is, right now, I'm just trying to figure out where in the world I'm going. But this is going to be so much fun. But just as with the other tracks, even though we have the loose setup, ouch, look out. Even though we have the loose setup in, it is very much controllable. I have to figure out something to do about that steering situation, but I'm sure, as we've seen before, that a custom setup will probably help that out quite a bit. All right, we'll run another lap or two. I actually don't even know where the start-finish line is. I assume it's over there at the drag track, the drag strip, but I don't know. I don't remember passing the start-finish line. Oh, that might have been it right there. Yep. I didn't see that the first time around. Oh, we bottomed out again. All right, so it does seem to penalize you a little bit for getting off on the grass areas. It doesn't let you have, ouch, we bottomed out big time right there. And when you bottom out, you go straight. It does not turn anymore. All right, so that was a lot of fun. So I think I'm going to end the stream here right now, guys. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate you guys hopping on here. I appreciate all the questions and comments. Hopefully I got to all of you. I think I did as much as I could. Keep one eye on the chat while the other eye was on the racetrack. But so far, just to summarize sort of where we've been in this stream, the dirt late models like where we're at right now, they're tons of fun to drive and seem to be fairly stable if you use the default setups, which overall, even on the asphalt cars, seem to be very good and something you can have a lot of fun in, which I think is ultimately their purpose. They're not supposed to be, in my book, they're not supposed to be as fast as a custom setup, but they're supposed to be stable enough to have fun with. But on the asphalt side, it seems like more of the same from NASCAR Heat 2 with regards to the handling and the physics. It seems like our setups are going to carry over quite nicely. I plan on doing things a little bit different on the setups just to have some variety for myself, so that because I enjoy running anywhere from 2, 3, 4 different setups for a particular track just to keep things fun. So we'll see how all that goes, but for now, it's been a lot of fun, and thanks very much for joining me.